It's Paris. Not like this. Like, I'm not in Paris right now. I'm definitely in Germany. This is today. That was like, did I enjoy being there the entire time? And here's why. I felt like it reminded me too much of New York. And maybe some people are like, what? That doesn't make sense. Well, here's what. So my first impression, just like, I mean, I'm still on the train, like pulling up to Paris. I'm like, huh, okay, this is quite interesting. Wasn't sure if I was pulling up to the ghetto. Maybe the neighborhood wasn't so posh as you would say, but like, in all honesty, I was just like, God damn, like, this is Paris, you sure? And I think that has a lot to do with movies. I mean, I have the impression, I'm like, oh yeah, it's gonna be beautiful and everyone's gonna be speaking like, mademoiselle, bonjour, c'est quoi. That is probably not a word, don't repeat that. But yeah, so you get like this romantical feel of Paris, thinking it's gonna be like all butterflies and hearts and this and that, and nah, nah. Like, the first things right off the top of my head, I can tell you that I did not like the trains. I did not like the trains. They reminded me 100% of New York. New York is still trash, though, I have to say. New York, yeah, still, nah, that's still at the bottom. But like, as far as like the trains were packed, they were so crowded, people pushing to get on. Nah, the smells I was smelling in the train station. When I tell you, I was smelling some smells that had me like, yo, this is it. Like, I'm about to like, I'm about to knock somebody out, or like, I'm about to take myself out. Cause I mean, when I tell you, like, you could literally just be smelling like, nothing, and then it just hits you. Like, it was literally to a point where my friend, he was like, one time we was in the train station, and he's like, oh, you smell that? It smells good. And I was like, nah, honestly, I'm really not trying to breathe in all that much, because yeah, I don't want to associate the train with something good, because the minute I'm smelling something good, we don't turn the corner and we're gonna be smelling ass again. And sure enough, within like a minute later, it was like and I was like, you see, I told you. Can't tell you how the food was. I was kind of poor, so I wasn't kind of poor. I was poor, so me and my friend, we were definitely cooking in every chance we got. But I did get to try the crepes. The crepe guy was so nice. Like, he was so sweet. He was so sweet, crepe man. Like, bless your soul. Like, if he is the example of how people should treat other people. He was so sweet, so sweet. The Eiffel Tower, when I tell you the Eiffel Tower, like, that is the one thing that you do when you go to Paris, France. See the Eiffel Tower. Pictures don't do it justice. Videos don't do it justice. That you have to see in person. Someone's walking by, that's why I'm like distracted right now, because I'm like toning myself down when I really need to turn up. Okay. Yeah, someone else is watching me, but just live life, right? So, one thing, I love staying at hostels, right? But that hostel, I just wasn't feeling it for many reasons. Well, one of the reasons why I love staying at hostels is because, one, it's cheap, affordable. Number two, I just like meeting people from different countries, different backgrounds and cultures, and I just like having that opportunity to, like, basically be able to connect with anyone. But with this one, this was a room of 13. Now, yes, I should have known that is not the best idea, but I went for it anyway. I was like, you know what, why not? Try it. When I tell you, first of all, thank God, I was up till like maybe 3 o'clock anyway, because I was working on videos. But when I got back to my room and tried to sleep, that was like the worst sleep I got in the longest time. Not everybody, but there were people snoring, people kept constantly moving around, I kept hearing shuffling, people going in and out of the room. I don't know why. I mean, I guess the bathroom, yeah, okay, I get that, but like, No, never again. And then on top of that, the breakfast was trash. Like, yeah, they didn't say that there was gonna be a buffet style breakfast like the last hotel I stayed, hostel, like the last hostel that I stayed at. But I just wasn't feeling the food. It was like freaking bread and like it's so bad I don't even remember what I had, but I didn't like it. Nightmare number 2. Second mistake that Deja made on her way traveling back. So now our bus pulls into what is it called again? Like border control, when they have to check your passport to see if it's you. Once again, yes, 100% my fault, but also like you'll see why. You'll see why. So the bus driver, he says, "All right, we're at border control. Make sure you take out your passport and then head back to the bus." Clear, right? Okay, cool. So we all get off the bus, we head into border control. Now we're standing on line and the person checks our IDs, our passport, and then we have to like walk out of that room, and then we're like in this what seems like mall type space, right? So a lot of people from our bus, they looked confused. They were like, "Oh, which way to go?" They didn't know. So I didn't know either. So we all started walking, I guess, straight. And some people looked like they were going to the bathroom, but I'm like, I don't need to use the bathroom, so I'm just waiting around to see the rest of the people from the bus. So I'm in there, just chilling, and then come to find out, I see a familiar face. It's actually the bus driver that offered me a ride to Paris to catch up with the next bus. So I was like, okay, cool. So we start talking, and it's a really good conversation. He looked real good too. I just gotta put that out there. So I didn't mind the conversation. Anywho, so we're talking, and some time is going by, but not too much time. And then after a while, we say our goodbyes. Oh, that's not true. He was also telling me how he was like, "Oh, well, I'm glad that you found the bus that you're on," and stuff like that. And I was like, "Okay, so what are we all doing in here?" And he was like, "Oh, well, to get back to Paris, we have to like go on a train that like goes underwater." I'm not going to even try to explain that because I don't understand it my damn self. But I do know when I went from Paris to London, we took a ferry, but this time it was going to be the bus loading onto some type of train that transits them across water. So I'm like, okay, cool. It's nice to know these things. It's nice when people explain things. He was also saying stuff like that too, like, yeah, a lot of these bus drivers don't really say anything. That's why I always like to make announcements to my passengers. And I was like, that's great. So we had a conversation about that, right? So I'm waiting. I even go after that, I go take a seat, and I'm just like, I don't know, once again, something doesn't feel right. And I start looking around. I'm like, I don't know if I see anyone from my bus here. No one really looks familiar. So then I get up and I start walking around, and then I looked for people like that maybe work at that station to like ask them like, is my bus still here? So as I'm going to question them, I see this man, he's walking in like really, really fast and stuff, and that looks like my current bus driver, and he's with someone, and it looks like they're about to make an announcement. So I'm like, I like wave, and I'm like, are you guys looking for me? They're like, oh, and no, him. He's like, oh, where were you? My instructions were very clear. I told you to get back on the bus. I don't understand. And I was like, yeah, but like no, you should have gotten back on the bus. I don't understand where you were, blah, blah. And he's just like going off. So I'm just like, okay, cool. Just keep on yelling at me. It's not the one. I did not take that long. Literally, they were probably waiting for me 5 minutes. I'll say 10 minutes tops. But that's besides the point. So, he's yelling at me and talking about like, oh, what were you doing? And blah, 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 this. My instructions were clear. You had to go through here, then turn here. And I'm like, well, if it was that clear, it would have been on your bus, sir. But anyway, got to take the blame. So I get on the bus, right? And you know, everyone's there like, oh, okay, yeah, you know, it's fine. And the bus driver's still going off, still like, you know, like, oh yeah, you know, I thought I was clear and blah 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 blah. And you hear other little snickerings, and I'm like, okay, all right, guys, you got it. But you know what's really funny? You know what's really funny? How less than 5 minutes from there, we take off, and then someone goes up to the bus driver and she's like, oh, I think someone else isn't here. And now the bus driver, he's just pissed. What do you mean? I asked everyone, is everyone here? She's like, oh, well, there's one guy, he's still missing. He's like, oh, that doesn't make any sense, and blah, 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 blah. And he's going off. And then I guess because of where we were, it wasn't the border control. It wasn't like you just, scoot on back with the bus and then you're back at border control. It was like you had to go through a freaking obstacle course just to get back. So let's just say that took an hour. It took an hour because we also needed someone from border control to like come find our bus to then lead us back to where we just were. You know me, I was silent. But it just goes to say, like, if you're waiting that long for somebody, why not come in before instead of... Also, like, what happened to doing a head count? My guy, if you did a head count, you would have known that I was gone a lot sooner, and you could have got me a lot sooner. But anyway, that was mistake number 2. And I guess my last like horror story was that bus was on that one bus, that was 15 hours. 15 hours on a crowded bus with someone on the phone talking to you for like what seemed like 6 of those hours, and then the other half he's freaking snoring, and I mean snoring so loud, and I'm just pissed at just everything. And then after that I had to get on another bus, and that was like 4 hours, and that was horrible too. But and we're back. Sorry, my phone died when I was outside, so had to come here. Anyway, so that pretty much sums up my experiences in Paris, my experiences in London. Like I said, it would have been way too long of a video if I included everything, so I tried to split it on up. So I guess this is part number 3, and this is the end. So once again, I'm so thankful that I even got to experience both Paris and London. Like any place in the world, or like anything of the world, everything has its good and its bad, and I got to experience a little bit of both of them. So once again, always thank you for watching, and now it's your turn. Where would you like to travel to next? Let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and do whatever else you like, but I'm gonna go now because I'm hungry. So thank you. Cheers.